Introduction. It didn't come upon me in one blinding flash of revelation. I can't pinpoint the moment my doubts began, but I was 7 years old when I realized that I did not believe in God, or that at the very least, something was not right about the whole thing. It's probably not even fair to say that I ever actually believed in God, in the sense that I'd ever had a personal experience with anything one might call God. I did believe my parents, who told me there was a God, the way I believed them when they told me to look both ways before crossing the street, because a car might be coming. Everyone said there was a God. I even had to say one nation under God every day at school. I believed what my teachers told me too, even though later some of that turned out to be far from the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It wasn't that the stories in the Bible contradicted science. I was perfectly willing to believe in a talking snake. Some of the things God said and did made no sense, like the tree in the Garden of Eden. It was the tree that bothered me. Some of the things God did were just plain mean. Being the all-powerful ruler of the universe who was supposed to be very concerned that people be good and was waiting to pounce to punish the evildoers, well, why did he allow Nazis to murder 6 million innocent people and try to murder even more, including my mom and grandma? God had the power to stop that, yet he did nothing. Why? I would have. I'd even zapped the little boys who tried to torture a puppy. Either God wasn't all-powerful, or God was not good, or God wasn't there. I ultimately decided the latter was true. It was morality that made me an atheist. All my life, I've been surrounded by people who believe, or say they do. They insist that one must believe in order to be moral, but they themselves are so immoral. They insist that religion is a moral guide, when many of the things that religions advocate are unjust and cruel, or just plain false. For most of my life, I've let them go their own way. I have not stood at the doors of their churches and berated them for their hypocrisy, or quite frankly, in many cases, chastised them for what can only be described as downright idiocy. But they keep coming after me, after all of us, demanding that we revere their errors, subject our behavior to their dogma, and lecture us on morality while behaving like sadists and liars. No one is more emblematic of this sort of person than William Barr, the now previous Attorney General of the United States of America. He posted a transcript of a recent speech he gave on the website of the United States Department of Justice, the US DOJ, in which he asserts that anyone who does not believe in his God is unfit to be a citizen of a democracy. In fact, we are destroying America. I had to respond. I'm 64 years old, and this was the last straw. Why? The US DOJ website is not William Barr's personal blog. It contains statements of official policy of the most powerful law enforcement agency in the country. It can investigate, prosecute, and incarcerate people in the United States of America. The first step to unleashing these powers against a group of people is to portray them as a threat. One only need look at Barr's deployment of armed federal agents, outfitted like soldiers in a war zone, to violently suppress racial justice demonstrators who oppose the administration Barr serves, even over the objection of local officials who belong to the opposite political party, and whose cities have been deliberately targeted for this invasion for that reason. It is Barr who is destroying democracy in America. I'm not so deluded as to believe that Barr cares what I think. A chorus of prominent people have publicly called for his resignation already. But Barr is not the only one who thinks these things. Do you? If so, I'm talking to you. The speech was given at the University of Notre Dame's School of Law. Here is how they describe their mission. At Notre Dame Law School, we see the law as more than just a profession. We encourage students to view the practice of law as a service to others, to explore the moral and ethical dimensions of the law, and to discover their unique roles in furthering the cause of justice. As an eminent law school at the heart of a great Catholic university, our view of legal education is informed and inspired by our religious tradition. It's a tradition that spans the globe, embraces people of all backgrounds, and illustrates the possibilities of dialogue between reason and faith. As a child, I reached the conclusion that there was no God. My process was a quest, employing a dialogue of reason and morality, mostly morality, against faith. As I said, morality made me an atheist. Humanity is not fallen, as William Barr claimed in that auditorium of polished wood and vaulted ceilings. No, we do not need the supervision of God, nor do we need the supervision of William Barr to restrain us from sins, such as exercising our constitutional rights to reject police brutality or to elect Democratic mayors. No, humanity is struggling to rise, seeking to better understand what it means to be moral and how to reflect that understanding in society, such as by insisting that devaluing the lives of certain people on the grounds of baseless prejudice is a moral abomination. Some people, maybe you, think that atheist morality is impossible. There are impossible things, but atheist morality is not one of them. Every moral decision ever made by any person in all of time was made in the absence of God. This is my testimony.